have finally found out who our writers will be for the next two Avengers films. So Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars will be written by Michael Waldron. So he previously wrote Doctor Strange. Is it in the Multiverse of Madness, and he also created Loki. So he has something that's really, really good and something that's disappointing, really. So, James, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Michael Waldron can tap into his Loki sort of stuff and produce good Avenger films, or do you think he might lean more towards Multiverse of Madness?
Illuminati?
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. He wrote that joke.
He wrote that joke. Yeah, I am mixed on this. I need to see the supporting talent around him because he's created Loki, and I think Loki is brilliant from the conceptualization of the TVA to its use of time and that entire world. I think it's just really brilliant stuff. I was really down on Loki prior to it ever gracing the screen. I was very against the idea that why do we have more Loki? He's done. He's finished. But they made it one of the best things post Endgame, which is a very hard thing to do, it seems. Anything good after Endgame is very hard to do, it seems like. But yeah, Michael Waldron, the creator of that one, I think he wrote 2 episodes in the first season, none in the second season, I believe. The second season, it was written by, I forgot his name, Eric something. The writer of the second season needs to join him. Then it needs to be co-written by these two guys, I think, because I think Michael Waldron is very good with executing and developing concepts, and I think you need that in Secret Wars. And I don't know too much about Kang Dynasty, but the Multiverse Saga, I think Michael Waldron can produce good ideas and put them to the page through writing. But his dialogue, structure, character work needs some improvement there, I think. So that's where Loki comes in. And the brilliance of Loki is it does everything. The creation of its world, the story, and the progression is all really good. The character work is really good. And so I think if you pair Michael Waldron with the writer of the second season, Loki, that's a really great writing team for both the movies. And I think you need the writing team to be on for both movies if they are going to be somewhat of a two-parter kind of deal. And then pair that again with, I think it's Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, the director duo. I think you need 2 directors to be a part or to create movies like Avengers as big as they are, because sure, Joss Whedon did really well with Avengers 1, but you're talking about 6 heroes there. It's easy enough to balance out when they've all had their solo movies. But then we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron, new characters come in, and he fell under that pressure. It wasn't as good as the first one. And so I think you need 2 people kind of keeping each other accountable and, bouncing ideas off one another. So I don't believe, because I know that Sam Raimi was the top choice.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, alongside Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. So, and I don't think one director could handle something like Secret Wars on their own. In a dream scenario, I would love the Daniels to take on. That would just be the dream, but it feels far too unrealistic to want that. I think a director duo and a writing duo that have previous experience, and because that directing duo I mentioned directed Loki season 2 as well.
Yeah.
So they directed the last 3 episodes in the first episode, which are the best episodes of the series or of the season 2. So yeah, Michael Waldron, I'm completely on board for him being a part of this, but he does need backup or a co-writer with him.
Yeah, I agree with that too, especially just basing it off Multiverse of Madness, because there were some horrendous lines in that film, and you didn't mention one of them.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think he does need another writer with him. If there's going to be 2 directors, then you might as well have 2 writers.
Yeah.
You're completely right about the 2 directors as well. I think 1 is not enough and 3 might be too many. I think 2 is perfect. You can get the same sort of vision, or it's more easy to discuss ideas with 2 people than 3, because then you're going to have 3 lots of ideas, and where do you compromise from, you know?
Yeah.
So I think 2 directors is perfect for these sort of films, especially
Mm.
Kang Dynasty and especially for Secret Wars, because they
Yeah.
are going to be 10 times more bigger than the first 2 Avengers.
Mm.
And to an extent, Endgame as well, just in
Yeah.
terms of scale-wise.
Scale-wise, for sure, yeah.
So definitely need 2 there. So if that's going to be the case, you should definitely have 2 writers.
Mhm.
You can't put all your faith into one writer,
That's
especially
a lot of pressure as well. Yeah.
especially for the scale of of both films, actually.
Mm.
And considering that the last thing he wrote was film-wise was Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
that was the biggest. I think our biggest disappointment of that year. Can't remember if we did the MGA awards, but
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that film had so much potential and it was just a big letdown. We're not saying that it's a bad movie. It was just disappointing for what was promised, really.
Yeah, it was fine, and that's
Yeah.
all. But it was just, disappointing is the right
Yeah.
word for that.
So I really don't want an Avengers film, especially on this scale, to be in that conversation of most disappointing. So
Yeah.
I think 2 writers will be better. You know, you got an ideas man and someone that can just flesh out the the character side and
Yeah.
the dialogue side as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think dialogue is going to be very important, and just the overall structure. I think Secret Wars is going to be it's going to be a whole cameo kind of movie if they're going to bring everyone together. I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah, I don't think this is like a one-man kind of job. It needs to be, you need a lot of eyes over it to make sure, are you missing something? Could you add something here? Should we take out that, So yeah, I don't think Michael Waldron can do this alone. He needs a backup. Yeah, but I do think he's good enough to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.